Hey, what is going on, you glorious grubbin? Today I'm coming at you with my first take on Chien Pao and the Temporal Forces rotation format. Before we jump into it, gotta give a big shout out to TC Evolutions, the highest quality products in the Pokemon TCG space. Markers, damage counters, you name it, they got it. They just recently came out with their dice case a couple months ago. That thing is super slick, super clean. Check them out, tcevolutions.com, and of course you can use code AzulGG and get yourself a discount over there as well. Link will be in the description. So let's get into it. Start off with the Chien Paos, of course. We have two of those. I've been a fan of two Chien Pao in the Chien Pao deck for a little while now. Depending on what the meta actually ends up looking like, I could see going up to 3, but 2 for right now. We've got the Ditto in here, and I'm sure you're wondering, why is there a Ditto in your Chien Pao deck? And that's because we've lost Battle VIP Pass, and getting Chien Pao into the active on the first turn is very important for a lot of situations. So because of that, we can buddy Puffin for the Ditto. For anyone who doesn't know, the Ditto's ability says once during your first turn of the game, only on your first turn of the game, if this is in your active, you may discard it and then go get a basic Pokemon out of your deck and replace this with that Pokemon effectively as your active Pokemon. So we can buddy Puffin for the Ditto and then put it in the active, retreat whatever our current active is, and then turn the Ditto into a Chien Pao. So it drastically increases our outs to Chien Pao on that turn 1 by playing the Ditto. So that's why the Ditto's in here. You could do other stuff too. Like, if you had no other way to get Greninja, you could buddy Puffin for the Ditto, retreat it to the active, make it a Greninja. All that kind of stinks to put your Greninja in your active on your first turn. It is like something you could do as far as that goes. We are still rocking the Iron Hands in here, of course, so the one of Iron Hands. We got 2 Baxcalibur still in the deck as well. The 3 Frigibacks still have the 2 60 HP tackle ones with the 1 retreat cost. I do currently play 170 HP Frigibacks. I'm not sure if this is necessary in the new format at all or not, but I'm just going to keep it around here just in case. Sableye is still a card. Lost Zone decks are still decks, so because of that, we might want that 70 HP Frigibacks. And we do have the one in here with the Collect over the Chili Frigibacks that could hit for 50 damage with 3 energy attached to it. I think the Collect is still probably a little bit better overall. The 2-2 B-Barrel, of course, definitely would potentially look to add maybe a third Bidoof. Finding basic but one on the first turn of the game is still really important with this deck. Buddy Puffin or not. And of course, like, your follow-up turns can be a little bit easier to establish your board because of the Buddy Puffins, whereas like the Battle VIP Pass, obviously, you could only play on the first turn of the game. The Radiant Greninja in here as well. Can't forget that. And I do currently have the Manaphy in the build because Mirror Match. Honestly, maybe it is just kind of really Mirror Match. But yeah, Manaphy is in here for that Mirror Match potential. I guess like there are some other Lost Zone decks as well. New card coming up. We got the, what is it, Crypto Decipherers. Actually, what is the name of this card again? Cryptomaniac. Cryptomaniac? I think it's Cryptomaniac. Search your deck for any 2 cards, put them on top of your deck, and then, or search your deck for any 2 cards, shuffle your deck, and then put those on top of your deck. And this combos with a ton of cards in our deck. It can combo with the B-Barrel, it can combo with the Radiant Greninja, it can even combo with Pokestop. So this thing has a ton of synergy with a ton of our potential very powerful draw cards in the deck. Currently have 2 of them in here as the supporters to go alongside the Iridas, but I could see playing more. Like, I was even like thinking, like, what if you just played 4 of these before you played 4 Irida? That's probably a little outrageous, but I don't hate the idea, to be honest, because it combos with so many of our cards in the deck. We'd maybe increase our Pokestop count to 4. I only have 3 of them in here right now. We'll get to that, but yeah, 2 of the Cryptomaniac, Crypto Decipher, Codebreaker. I don't know. I've seen like a couple different names for the card, to be honest. I'm actually not sure quite what it's called. 4 Irida, of course. I just mentioned no Ionos in this in this list. No other supporters at all. 4 Irida, 2 of the Cryptomaniac. Of course, we got the Prime Catcher in the deck. I think this deck synergizes with Prime Catcher more than literally any other deck in the format, probably. Yeah, Prime Catcher is insanely powerful in here. I play the Canceling Cologne, so it can combo with that. It combos super well with Iron Hands. It combos well with Chien Pao. It's just ridiculous. It's an item card as well, so we can search it out with Irida. We can Pokestop into it. Just disgusting, absolutely disgusting in this deck. For anyone who doesn't know, the Prime Catcher switches one of your opponent's bench Pokemon to their active, and then you switch one of your bench Pokemon to your active. So if anyone's familiar with Guzma back in the day, this is exactly that in item form. Of course, it is an A spec, so you can only play 1 of them. But yeah, ridiculously powerful card, and I think just ridiculously powerful in the Chien Pao deck, the Baxcalibur deck. 1 counter catcher for when we fall a little bit behind, can help us get back ahead. I'm not sure if this is necessary or not. I would maybe actually prefer a boss or 2 over this. Maybe just Pokemon catchers even, to be honest. I'm not sure on the counter catcher yet. I haven't played enough of that. I haven't played any matchups of the new format at all, so I don't know if counter catcher actually makes sense to include in this deck or not. It's possible it doesn't, to be honest. The one canceling clone, like I mentioned, combo this with the counter catcher or the prime catcher to pull off some powerful Moonlight Shuriken attacks with your Radiant Greninja. Now it's easier than ever to combo this with the Radiant Greninja. We're not picking between cross switchers plus canceling clone or Iron Hands. We have Iron Hands, we have canceling clone, we have the prime catcher, which is effectively 4 cross switchers, and we can utilize that with the Radiant Greninja combo as well. So we're not picking between the two really powerful multi-prize turn combos that the deck played before. We just play it all now. 3 rare candies still, of course, to get our Excalibur in play. For the Pokemon search cards, we got the 444 coming up here. We got the 4 Ultra Ball. We've got the 4 Nest Ball. And then we got the 4 new Buddy Puffins. For anyone who doesn't know what this card does, search your deck for 2 Pokemon with 70 HP or less and put them onto your bench. It isn't... I don't know. Honestly, this might be better than Battle VIP Pass in this deck. You could definitely argue that. Same thing with, like, Charizard as well. Because if you have a slower turn 1 where you don't get fully set up, the Body Puffin makes it really easy to then reestablish a full board. So this can't find Chien Pao or Iron Hands. We never really want to find Iron Hands early anyways. Or it can't find Radiant Greninja, which is maybe the bigger card to not be able to find is the Radiant Greninja alongside the Chien Pao. Of course, Iron Hands really doesn't matter on turn 1. But if you do have a slower turn 1 where you maybe whiff Buddy Puffin altogether, and we do have the Ditto as well. We do have that Ditto as well in here. So we can Buddy Puffin for the Ditto that can then become the Chien Pao. If we can move our active Pokemon, of course, that is going to be part of that for sure. But if we do have a slower turn 1 where we kind of whiff a decent amount of basic Pokemon on that first turn, then we aren't locked out of being able to have an aggressive reestablishment of our board like we did with VIP Pass, where VIP Pass you can only play on the first turn of your game. The Buddy Puffins, you could go search one out turn 2 and then, you know, get some extra Bidoof or some Frigibacks or whatever it might be, and then you're like set up ready to go. So yeah, the Buddy Puffins, yeah, I don't want to say it's for sure worse than Battle VIP Pass in this deck, because I definitely could see the way it plays out. It could actually be better. If we had to choose between the two, which we're forced to kind of choose the Buddy Puffin now, we are forced to have the Battle VIP Pass last format, this might be better, to be honest. Some testing is still required, of course. 1 Heavy Ball in here. Don't want to prize our Pokemon. 2 Earthen Vessel, aggressively find our energy. Of course, is very important to set up our Iron Hands, but just in general, Earthen Vessel is just a really good card in this deck. For the energy recovery, of course, we got the 4 Superior Energy Retrieval. We've got 2 Super Rods, and I have cut down on the Pokestops a little bit here. I'm down to 3 Pokestops. Still such a powerful card in this deck. A little bit less mandatory to play 4 of them now that Path to the Peak is missing. Path to the Peak was a huge hindrance into our decks. Aggression, slowing down the Shivery Chill, the Chien Pao, and the draw power from the Radiant Greninja. Now that Path to the Peak isn't a thing anymore, I don't think we need to be as aggressive or don't need to have a high account of a stadium card. So I still have 3 Pokestop in here because it's still so good. There's still so many items in our deck that we want to find aggressively. Milling and getting through our deck aggressively as well is really, really powerful. So currently have 3. Could see going back up to 4, but it really depends on where like the stadium count in general in the meta stands, because the Pokestop is kind of just staying in play after we find our first one. 3 is probably more than enough, and I've seen some lists with like 2 in the deck as well from Japan. 1 Lightning Energy still, I think that's all you need. I would never play more than 1 Lightning in here. Iron Hands isn't that important, and I honestly think for this build, Iron Hands becomes less important because we have the Canceling Clone combo in here alongside the Iron Hands now. We have so many ways to draw 2 prize cards on our turn. The Iron Hands, the Canceling Clone, plus the Prime Catcher, just using Greninja in general if our opponent doesn't play Manaphy or find Manaphy, and then Chien Pao, of course, knocking out 2 prize Pokemon. Works as well for getting 2 prize cards. So yeah, I definitely think you only need the 1 Lightning Energy now that you're comboing Iron Hands and Canceling Clone in the same deck. And then 8 basic water energy, and of course we're not changing that at all. And that's it. That's my first take on Excalibur in the Temporal Forces post-rotation format. Let me know if you think I missed anything important, if there's anything else you think I should include, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.